Zimbabwe's Constitutional Court rejects direct challenge to Mnangagwa's Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. Zimbabwe, welcome back. Super. So, this is what's happening. In a swift and major legal development, the Constitutional Court of Zimbabwe has declined to hear a direct application challenging Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, CAB 3 of 2026, handing a significant legislative advantage to President Emmerson Mnangagwa. The court application, brought forward by 6 parliamentarians, often referred to as the war veterans, and legally represented by prominent constitutional lawyer Professor Love Momadoko, sought to halt the controversial amendment process. The bill aims to modify the constitution to allow President Mnangagwa to extend his term or change the rules to directly benefit himself. So, war veterans akaisa bill here. Remember that it's very important to remember that, because all these things are going to be used against Mnangagwa, because ndo ma legal issues also are to bend mutemo ruto gubwa na Mnangagwa achitamba kaomesa msoro achinda kwari kuenda pachanakidza inzwa munhu. So let's talk about the direct access denied. The Constitutional Court dismissed the application on jurisdictional grounds rather than the core merits of the constitutional arguments. Speaking outside the court immediately following the decision, Nezuro, Professor Maduk, explained that the judges ruled their specific duties under Section 167 were not sufficient to grant direct, were not sufficient, right, under Section 167 were not sufficient to grant direct access to the apex court. So varukuti haingatongwi kunoku, haina kunyanya kukosha. They declined to exercise their jurisdiction directly, Maduk stated, noting that the court directed the applicants to instead file the matter with a lower court, such as the High Court. From there, the case could theoretically move up through the standard appeals process to the Supreme Court and back to the Constitutional Court. Wait. Zimbabwe. This is very important. The judgment yakapiwa nema-judges. Remember, iyi nyaya yakaonzwikwa mukoti musi wa 20 May. Mwezi wapera a long time ago. Patiwa nema-weeks. Anditi. Nasi tiri musi wa 18 June. Anditi. Takutokwanisa mwezi. In fact, watokwana 20 May, 18 June. Wadzakutokwana 30 days. Mwezi uyu. And then the guys varikuti, no, nyai, havasi kuti zvamuri kutaura zviri wrong or anything. And the importance of that. The fear these guys, my judges, vane fear inohlisa, vari kuvhunduka singambobviri as we speak. Look, varamba kujaja nyaya vakati idzosere indai nayo kupi ku a lower court. They found an excuse, anditi, rather than kuti vati aiwa Mnangagwa ari right, muri pabata. Rigaiti nombera hanzichi. In an immediate response to the ruling, the challenging parliamentarians instructed Maduk to urgently, the challenging war veterans instructed Maduk to urgently redirect and refile the lawsuit with the High Court as a matter of absolute urgency. The ruling is being viewed as a massive political setback for an opposing internal faction heavily associated with Vice President and retired General Constantino Chiwenga. Political commentators noted the unusual speed with which the Constitutional Court handed down its judgment, suggesting it was quickly done and dusted to clear the way for crucial parliamentary voting processes scheduled for the same day. But critics and opposition factions have heavily condemned the ruling, pointing to it as a classic indication of a captured judiciary operating under the influence of the executive. So, Zimbabwe at the crossroads. The dismissal of the court challenge gives the pro-Mnangagwa faction immense leverage to push forward with parliamentary processes surrounding CAB 3. The political atmosphere in Harare remains highly volatile. Observers note that security has been visibly beefed up around government facilities following warnings from security officials regarding the upcoming parliamentary votes. With the legal battle now redirected to the High Court, Zimbabwe finds itself at a tense political crossroads as internal factions continue to vie for the future direction of the nation's constitution and leadership. Muri Zimbabwe, izvi ndo zviri kuitika mukati menyika yedu right now. So muripo pano pamuzinda wevanhu, uri kutiona paFacebook, uri kutiona paInside Africa Network TV, uri kutiona paYouTube, uri kutiona paThe Mtapa Times. So stay tuned, stay blessed. Ndini wenyu super. Thank you for watching. Peace.